Kia ora. On Mind, Body and Soul, we get right to the heart of the chakra system, jump up and jive with Sir Rock, and we contemplate the healing power of crystals. But first, we take a trip to the healthiest place on the planet. The healing waters of this inland lake have drawn kings and queens to its shores in search of health and restoration for thousands of years. Paradoxically, the Dead Sea is the giver of life. It is home to the most mineral-rich brine on the planet. Just ask Herod and Cleopatra. They took the plunge. This hypersaline inland sea contains 21 minerals in vastly greater concentrations than ocean water. Magnesium, potassium, sodium and bromine are present in high amounts, and it's probably due to these minerals that the Dead Sea has become a mecca for psoriasis sufferers and patients with rheumatic complaints. People have been known to shake off their skin complaints in 4 days flat here. Not only are the waters wondrous, but the air by the Dead Sea is curiously pollen-free and richer in oxygen. The ozone layer is thicker, and the extra atmosphere over the Dead Sea, thanks to it being the lowest point on the Earth's surface, filters out harmful UVB rays. It's the perfect place for a healthy holiday, whether you're suffering breathing, muscular or skin ailments. But not everyone can pack up their bags and make the trip to Jordan. However, who needs an airline ticket to the Dead Sea when the Dead Sea can come to you? Pillow therapy is becoming popular in spas and retreats all over the world, thanks to the export of wonderfully mineral-rich mud courtesy of the Dead Sea. The deep, dark tones of Dead Sea mud have inspired the name black mud. Scientists call it pelloid. It's enriched with millions of years' worth of compressed plants and animals, now present in the dark lather in the form of humic acid, the healing element in Dead Sea mud. Pillow therapy is the act of smearing oneself in this silken goo, or having a practitioner do the smearing for you, and laying back to let it work its magic. It doesn't hurt to spread it directly onto the affected area. In fact, it feels quite soothing. For enhanced absorption, the client is often placed in a full-body steamer, which opens the pores and really lets the mineral mud soak right into the skin. 20 minutes later, and your skin, the largest organ of your body, is fully cleansed and detoxified. If you're not into getting gooey, the pelloid can be added to spa water, where the jets help the mud relax tired, tense muscles. It smells curiously pleasant and feels no different from fresh, clear water. If it's that unique Dead Sea floating experience you're after, then many spas import bags of Dead Sea salt to add to their pools. This makes the water so dense you become incredibly buoyant, expending no energy at all as you float the day away on top of the water. Just close your eyes and relax. It's incredible that not a single creature can live in the Dead Sea. But a soak in its unique waters will make you feel more alive and well than you have for a long time. We have now reached the halfway point in our journey of discovery concerning the 7 main chakras of the body. Anahata, our 4th chakra, sits just over our heart and keeps our bodies and minds in balance. To keep the bottom 3 chakras, which are connected to the external physical world, balanced with the top 3 chakras, which are connected to the internal mental and spiritual world, all you need is love. And Anahata is a huge reservoir just waiting to be tapped. The heart chakra is often associated with the colours green and pink, For this reason, jade and rose quartz are worn by people looking for balance in their fourth chakra. This chakra vibrates to the musical note F. It's associated with the element air and symbolized by two triangles placed over each other, one pointing up, the other pointing down. This signifies the interlinking role Anahata has regarding our spiritual and physical natures. The chakra dancers know the moves to keep Anahata in balance. Moves that explore the opposites within us, the yin and the yang, the introverted and extroverted, are performed to get in touch with the fourth chakra. Anahata governs the heart, hands, lungs, shoulders, breast, thymus, esophagus and circulatory system of the physical body. Blockages in this chakra can manifest themselves in diseases in these parts. The heart chakra records and stores emotional information regarding the people we love. Therefore, emotionally hurtful experiences can often trigger physical symptoms in body parts associated with this energy wheel. Have you ever known someone who gets an asthma attack if they are emotionally upset? This is probably due to Anahata closing itself up a little bit. Heart problems and immunity problems are connected to Anahata also. If you have unresolved childhood hurts, it's best to deal with these for a healthy Anahata. The hurt inner child takes refuge in the heart chakra. Anahata is often seen as the seat of the spirit. The spiritual lessons Anahata wants to teach us are about compassion, forgiveness, trust and unconditional love. A fourth chakra that is too open will lead a person into being too giving, generous to a fault. A fourth chakra that is too closed may lead a person into lacking compassion, lacking empathy. One needs to strike the perfect balance between self-love and the love of others. There are many yoga postures one can practice to balance Anahata, for example, cobra and fish. These open and energize Anahata. Anahata is the fulcrum upon which our emotional and physical well-being balances. If the scales are tipped too far in either direction, our mind, body and spirit may be at odds with each other. So find the balance in your open heart and let your love run free. You can have the time of your life and get fit at the same time. Every Wednesday night at the Copacabana, literally hundreds of people turn up to learn Surrock. This dance is a fusion of French, Latin styles and is often called modern jive. The music is pumped and so are the students, as instructors Anita and Sean lead the way on the dance floor. Beginners get right into it. Lines are formed and Anita and Sean demonstrate the first sequence. Everyone has a ball trying it out for themselves before it's time to say goodbye to one partner and hello to the next. By the end of the class, you will probably have danced with everyone at least twice. It's a great way to find your feet and a friend at the same time. Anita and Sean keep everyone on their toes by moving on to the next step sequence. At the end of the class, it's time to put it all together and see if you can jive out to the whole song. Then you're on your own. The instructors clear the space for freestyle. Everyone gets on the floor and goes for it. After 12 weeks at beginner's level, you can consolidate your techniques with a small test and move on up to intermediate. This is where the fun really begins. Surrock was born in France at the end of World War II. It's one of the most stylish and entertaining dance forms to watch just because the dancers look like they're having so much fun. At intermediate level, dips and twists and small lifts are introduced. It's time to get creative with the choreography. There are overtones of dirty dancing in Sarok, and the more experienced dancers aren't afraid of a little contact. And if you keep up your Sarok classes, it won't be long before you're as good as these guys. Everyone clapped along as some of the country's finest dancers put on a show. Advanced Sarok dancers are adept at aerial lifts and acrobalance. You can start learning these once you've proven yourself at intermediate level for a while. Many hours of practice and study have gone into these routines, but the dancers make it all look so effortless. However, Sarok must be quite a workout, judging by the overall muscle tone of the dancers. This sure beats going to the gym to get fit. Then it was time for the head of the school to get up and strut her stuff. Katerina and her partner Calvin performed a flamenco-inspired routine with some lift work that left the audience floored. Just by watching these champions in action, you can tell they're so comfortable with the technique, they can relax into it enough to infuse the performance with character and style. It all comes with practice and dedication. So if you're after a whole lot of fun mixed in with your fitness and a dance style that'll get your brain working just as hard as your feet, hop along to Sarok, French Latin Modern Jive. It's sure to give your spirits and fitness level a lift. Feeling out of sorts? Here's a way to get your body and emotions feeling crystal clear. Crystal healing has been used by cultures around the world for millennia. Legend has it that it all started in the land of Atlantis. But you can pop down to your local complementary health centre and ask to be cleansed and re-energized via this very earthy tradition anytime. Trevena uses semi-precious gemstones to heal people who are feeling stressed or under the weather. After the patient lies down and makes themselves comfortable, Trevena places her hands over the region of the solar plexus and asks the chakra to open. She feels the energy. This chakra is responsible for nourishing the liver and other organs. This is the chakra that expresses anger. If it's out of balance, it means that there is negative energy from pent-up anger in the chakra. It needs to be released so the physical body doesn't become diseased. Trevena chooses a finely cut clear quartz crystal to cleanse the vortex of energy flowing out of the chakra. She proceeds to do this for all of the chakras on the energy body. Once opened and cleansed, it's time for Trevena to choose the crystals that will rebalance the energies. There are many schools of thought regarding which crystals do what. Trevena is clairvoyant and relies on the patient's spirit guides to tell her where to place the crystals. She places a very clear quartz crystal on the patient's third eye. A crystal is placed on the throat chakra. Rose quartz is placed on the heart chakra. The spirits are not happy with their original choice for the throat chakra and instruct Trevena to replace the original crystal with something more healing. The patient may have a blockage in this chakra. This can result from having issues with people and not talking things through or not speaking up for oneself. If this chakra becomes blocked, the patient may eventually suffer from chronic throat and respiratory conditions. Once all the crystals are chosen and in place, Trevena stands back and places her palms toward the patient. She is channeling universal energy to boost the healing as the crystals do their work. The patient is deeply relaxed. Finally, the energies are rebalanced. Trevena places the gems carefully away. The finely cut quartz is used again to clear any remaining energy from the chakras. A final energy sweep and tidy up completes the procedure. A hand placed on the patient's head signals to them that the crystal healing is finished. She awakes feeling deeply relaxed. As always, she feels cold upon awakening and looks forward to a warm drink. There is no scientific evidence to suggest that methods such as these have any effect on health. Crystal healing should not be used as a substitute for going to the doctor. But on a meditative level, it's therapeutic to lie back, relax, and have someone else send their caring intentions your way. The warm, fuzzy feelings you experience at the end of a session are more than semi-precious. It's that magnificent time of year again. Delicate spring blossoms delight the senses with their vibrant colours and tantalising perfume. The sun shines bright and the grass is high, the birds are on the wing. What a joyous time to be alive! Well, not everyone appreciates this time of year. For some, it's a downright sneeze fest. Cheery blooms mean high pollen counts, and that means watery, itchy eyes and blocked sinuses. Not to mention headaches. To unclog your stuffed up sinuses and see straight through the hay fever haze, you could reach for the nasal spray or pop a pill. Or better still, you could try some of these natural tips for a sneeze-free spring. Naturopaths recommend cutting back on your dairy product consumption. Cheese and milk create mucus. This is the last thing you need more of when you're suffering from hay fever. Aromatherapists say that massaging the sinuses with a few drops of lavender and elecampane will help to decongest the area. Nettle tea has been sipped for centuries to alleviate respiratory complaints. Yoga is a great way to clear out hay fever's mucousy mess. Our resident yoga expert Dominique suggests that inverted postures such as downward facing dog help to send oxygen-rich blood to the head and brain. This aids the groggy feeling of hay fever and is very nourishing to the endocrine glands that control all other bodily functions and immunity. The position of the lungs relative to the heart ensures that any stale, toxic air or contaminants in the lungs are moved along. The pressure and heat in the head and face also greatly assist in moving waste matter from the nasal passages. Begin on all fours with your wrists directly under your shoulders and your knees directly under your hips. Tuck the toes under and inhale, lifting your pelvis up to the ceiling, tilting your hips up on a diagonal angle like an inverted V shape. Relax the head in between the arms and soften the muscles in the face. This is very important to allow for maximum circulation of arterial blood in the upper body and head. Hold this position for 5 to 10 breaths, or as long as it feels appropriate for you. To release, inhale to all fours and exhale to bring the hips back to the heels in child's pose. Bring the arms back behind the body and rest the forehead on the floor. If your forehead doesn't reach the floor, stack the fists one on top of another and rest the head here. Allow the body to absorb the energy of the pose. Repeat 2 to 5 times, depending on how you feel. These are but a few of the myriad of ways to spring clean your immune system. With the right diagnosis and therapeutic attention, allergies can be eliminated. 25% of the world's population knows that's nothing to sneeze at. Prepare yourself for the hottest sensation in complementary therapy. Infrared sauna treatments are the finest way to detox and hone the body's functions. Break into a sweat while laying semi-supine in the therapeutic warmth of one of these systems. Medical studies have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that sauna therapy is the most effective way to release years of built-up heavy metals in the system. Not only that, but fever therapy, as it's sometimes called, strengthens the immune system. by tricking the body into thinking it has a fever, white blood cells proliferate. A recent study on heart failure patients also proved that sauna therapy is a blast for the cardiovascular system. 20 heart patients received sauna therapy over a 2-week period and showed definite signs of improvement, including a more regular and steady heartbeat. There is also a rumour going round that excess weight and cellulite problems can be smoothed out in the heat box. All this while sitting back listening to your favourite album. It couldn't be simpler. But sweating it out to better health is not a new technique. Age-old cultures all over the world have been sweating it out for millennia. Here in Kazakhstan, traditional healers, such as Mariam Kamaldanova, know the secret to stoking up the immune system. Except Mariam's methods are a little less conventional than those of the West. There is nothing Mariam likes more than to bake up a healthy loaf of bread and a patient or two in her traditional tanda oven. The bread oven doubles as a healing apparatus for the many patients from all over the country who come seeking Mariam's help. A patient must strip down to the bare essentials and lay down inside the oven, covered over in blankets, for 5 to 30 minutes, depending on Mariam's prescription. Mariam has cured a wide range of illnesses using heat therapy, from asthma to headaches and tuberculosis. The secret to sauna healing was passed on to Mariam from her father, who was also a folk healer. In his day, when Kazakhstan was under Soviet rule, folk healing was outlawed, but Mariam learned all she could from her father, including which herbs, such as basil and mountain mint, are to be burnt in the oven to aid the patient's healing. Layuba has brought her son, who is suffering from aneurysm, for bread oven therapy. Folk medicine such as this is experiencing a boom in Kazakhstan. Because of the failing economy, not many people can afford to go to the hospital. Mariam treats upwards of 30 people per day. On one occasion, 100 people waited in line for a healing. Mariam doesn't have to advertise. Word of mouth ensures she's kept very busy. She charges no fee for her expertise, but accepts gifts of food, money and other useful things. When the healing is done, Mariam and her husband get back to earning a living by raising sheep on their small farm and baking bread in their special oven. Whether sitting back in the comfort of a custom-built sauna or braving the flames of Mariam's traditional bread oven, heat therapy can detoxify your body and stimulate your immune system, creating a happier, healthier you. Join us again on Mind, Body and Soul as we discover more paths to health and happiness. But for now, Dominique gives us some food for thought.
Most of us unconsciously hold so much tension in the body-mind. We're so unconscious of ourselves that we're reacting subtly to everything that happens in our lives. Try to consciously become less reactive and more responsive. Start to become aware of how you can deliberately choose how you respond to situations instead of just reacting from a gut instinct or from an ego-based level. Take your time, count to 10, take a deep breath and ask yourself what you really want to contribute to a given situation, and then act from there.